And a very big hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, a place where in 2015 AC/DC played as part of their World Tour. But today it plays host to round 3 of Season 5 of the Aussie Racing League and our first sprint round. Let's take a look at the circuit. It's 4.9 kilometres in length, 19 turns, a massive DRS zone and a very hard braking area going down into turn 1. It's going to be fun, people. Let's take you to your commentary team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wereboy, joined together today with Apex in the commentary box, and today we will be bringing you the Novice class race around Imola. This week is a sprint week. It's a special week, so there won't be any qualifying. The current grid order is set by the championship standing, so it's going to be the reverse top 10. So the first person in the standings in P1 will start P10, with P10 starting in P1, and you can fill in the gaps in between. P10 to P11, to P20 is going to be as the championship stands currently. So I'm not sure if you have a graphic to show the grid positions, but if you look at the standings on screen, you'll see Tadachi, who's leading the championship, along with HK Racing in P2. They'll be starting P9 and 10 respectively. They've had a strong week last week. They took the 1-2 around Netherlands, which was a great thing to watch as a Ferrari driver myself. Hopefully, they can bring home the win for Ferrari today around Imola. Any thoughts about the race today, Apex? What do you think about the Academy race last night, and what are you expecting to see today?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't actually watch the race last night, but I hope
Oh.
we do have a very nice, entertaining race, just like last week. It was always great to see these guys give it a crack out there, and Imola, always a fun track to watch, and with the sprint, as you mentioned, a lot of overtakes to be made, so we'll jumble up the pack, and it just depends how your sprint goes, but yeah, looking forward to this one, and hope it's a good race.
Certainly hoping so too. As a steward in the Academy division, I have to say I was surprised at how few tickets there were. There weren't that very many tickets yesterday, so hopefully the Novice guys can keep it just as clean, if not cleaner today. Going too wide through parts of the track is quite tricky, but obviously the drivers are quite skilled and they can make it possible. And if they want those grid positions for the feature race and the sprint race, they're going to have to make moves. So looking forward to seeing the action. The lobby is going to be starting shortly. Just waiting on the last few drivers to join, and we can get going. My phone is ringing. I apologize. Yeah. And yeah, who do you think's gonna win the race today, Apex? What are your expectations for finishing order?
I mean, your number one pick would be our championship leader, Mr. Tadachi, as I think many people would pick, but I don't know, because with sprints, they always make the qualifying positions, so it might just be skill and how to get up there. And this track being not the most easiest to overtake with the tricky first corner of not mistaken, I think it's Tamburello, and yeah,
Yeah.
just Tosa is a great place to watch out for an overtake. Aqua Minerali active spin zone, and yeah, Piratella also a very fun corner. So yeah, we just got to watch out for those spins. If you know how to plant that car properly, you should be in for a great performance this afternoon. But yeah, looking forward to this. But my number one pick would probably be, of course, Tadachi. But hoping to see other drivers get up there. Manatin, Bevo, Panache, Rudy. Hoping to see them up there, as I know I've seen them have got great pace. So is Reblitz. Reblitz should be hoping to score back some points after his double DNF. But yeah, hoping for a great race.
Yeah, I have to say, Reblitz is doing really well. He's made the jump from using assist to no assist, so I think he's only running line. So, for the first league racing season without assist, I have to say he's doing really well, making not a lot of mistakes. So, well done to Reblitz. Switching from no assist to assist can be quite daunting. So, he's doing great. Another one I think we should mention is Formal Casting, who won the Academy division last season. I think he's going to be up there as well when he gets in a rhythm, when he gets in the zone, he can put in those laps and be up there. He's actually made the switch from controller to wheel, so he joined the wheel master race. I know a few controller players aren't going to be happy that I said that, but he's part of the wheel master race. So I think you should expect a few moves from him. Unfortunately, Soccer Tom, who finished third around Monza a couple of weeks ago, won't be in the lobby today. We have a few reserves up from Academy. I will get that up on my screen so I can tell you who they are. But last week there was a system 5 in the division below are eligible to reserve up. So don't be surprised if you see a few names in Novice today that you normally see in Academy. For example, Snoopaloop, who is Ferrari Academy, he's going to be driving for Mercedes today.
Yeah, and we always
So
wish the best for these reserves. So, like, let's see what they can do with the assist restrictions turned off, and just yeah. But as you mentioned before, Rebelit's also doing magnificent job. Yeah, as we head to the start of the race, as the drivers get ready, get their setup song, get their strategies. Yeah,
I'm looking very forward to this. There might be a bit of an issue with my Discord. I can't see the screen. So Apex, you're going to have to take the start until I can get that sorted.
Yep.
Hopefully no one has read it up before the lobby house, because not getting your setup in or your strategy can be quite annoying. I know that from experience, but 15, 15 seconds to go. The streams are up. I have 2 great views of the race, and I'll hand it over to you, Apex. Take it away.
All right, thank you. As the clock clicks down, we've only got 5 seconds left to the start of the sprint race. Here we go.
Anytime now.
Yeah, just waiting at the moment.
Might be a few stragglers with bad internet.
Yeah, I'm just getting another countdown, so just waiting. That's all right. Here we go as we head to 5 red lights. And away we go to the start of the sprint. Stealth gets away nicely. Hawksrow followed closely behind. Everyone gets away nicely as we see Salty with an awesome start at the back there. Oh, Salty's been hit by Panache.
Whoa!
And we've got a massive contact in the back. That was a huge contact. Will that be a safety car?
So much for a clean start. All I saw was a sideways McLaren and a sideways Salty. I think Bevo's lost his entire wing. Snoopaloop, though, up from 19th to 14th. What a start from the Mercedes.
Yeah, so it was a good start from Salty, who got up there, but Panache just got a better start. And as we see Stealth with that Delta probably just slowing down. But yeah, Stealth with an awesome start their HK going up to P4 from P9, so an awesome start from HK there. And also, where Tadachi also up to P6.
Yeah, it is a safety car now, so I think everyone's going to have a chance to take a breath from that chaotic start and
Yeah,
sort of just recollect and recharge the battery if they've used any of that.
I've got no comments over that contact. It just looked like they just joined wheels, and yeah, so nothing really, no one's fault at the moment, but there'll definitely be some talks about that contact. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we saw a similar incident yesterday in Academy where there was just a lot of weird locking of wheels. The contact model in the game is a bit, I have to say, I'm not a fan of it compared to what it should be in real life. So a lot of
yeah.
drivers might have been caught out with that weird tire locking issue.
And this track with the curve going down to turn 1 catches a lot of people out, not knowing that
Absolutely.
they have to turn. So yeah, we've also got a position change here. So Stealth and Hawk kept the top 2. They've kept the same positions. Panache up 2, HK up 2, Milk up 3, Tadachi up 1, Rudy up 3, Robbie up 4, Trenny has kept his position, Rebelets up 4, Wheezy up 5, TTV up 6, Foxy has gone down 2, Snooperloop 3rd, up 3 positions, Achiri up 4 positions, Manatin down 3 positions, Crossdog 2, and Bevo with 15 as he replaces his front wing, and Crossdog also boxing onto the soft compound.
Yes, I'm sorry about the audio issues. If you pause and unpause, this is to the caster, so if you just pause and unpause, the audio should come back. But yes, the tire issues. If you look at the back of the grid, you'll see Crossdog and Bevo pitting. So unfortunately, that means they've used a set of tires that would be available to them in the feature race because you only get one extra set because of the sprint race. So if you use a set of mediums here and then you use a set of softs, you have two less softs. Sorry, one less soft for the feature race.
Yeah, but who knows? You always want to have that spare set of softs available just to have that end of just to have that end soft compound run that you usually have with the safety car. But yeah, so Crossdog I think has gone for the gamble. He may have had damage. I don't know yet. Yeah, so the safety car, if they catch up, should be in by next lap. So if these guys just start warming their tires, so yeah.
Let's have a look at the compounds they're on because the compound that you're on affects the tire warm up quite a lot. Because if you're on the hards, they take often 4 sectors to warm up, so you can take you a lap in a sector to warm up. But if you're on the softs, they basically warm up after 2 sectors, so you already have the grip and the ability to overtake. So yeah, not
So
surprising. Everyone's on the mediums except for Crossdog, who's had to make that stop into the softs.
Foxy is boxing actually. So as I just caught him, he's going to be boxing.
Yeah,
So Foxy boxing onto the soft compound, so also boxing as well. And Bevo is pitting as well. So those two drivers look like they're trying to get onto the softs to go to the end, which they probably will do. 7 laps is not that bad of a sprint, but who knows? They may die out, but softs are a pretty good tire to have around here.
yeah, the softs can make it to the end. If anything, I think some drivers should have started on the softs for that advantage of the line, but they do drop off. They do drop off around lap 6, 7, 8, so you start to get a bit of sliding around the rear. And if you're not careful with the oversteery corners, you will spin and be caught out. And unfortunately, that could be the end of your race. Apologies for the dark screen. Unfortunately, we're dealing with some audio issues. We are aware that you cannot hear anything, so we're trying to sort that out while the safety car is still going on. Hopefully it will be sorted. There's a bit of feedback. I can hear myself twice. If we could just check what's going on there. But yeah, safety car should be in hopefully end of this lap. The safety car can get called in quite late. I've seen it get called in even after the last corner, so it leaves drivers no time to react to warm tires. So let's sit back and see what happens.
Don't think Bevo's actually going to catch up. I think he's going to keep it out just a little bit longer. But he's pushing massively right now, but I do not think he'll catch up. So we're going to have another lap under safety car. So, yeah, so another lap for these guys just to sit back and just wait. But the grid should all bunch up, and we should definitely have safety car in by the end of this lap.
Yeah, this extra safety car lap is really just going to help the soft runners because their stint is just going to shorten up, which means they're going to have the grip advantage and they won't have to worry about tire saving that much. So Crossdog and Foxy and Bevo are probably gonna want to make those moves towards the beginning. It's gonna be interesting to see how the soft runners at the back of Bevo and Foxy interact with each other, because you don't want to start fighting if you're on the same soft tire as someone else. You want to work with them past the medium runners, and then you can squabble for position. Because if you fight with your tire advantage, you just end up losing that advantage you have, and it's quite annoying if you're one of the drivers on the soft seat, the other drivers just fighting you, not trying to work with you to move up the grid, because you can move up together if you do it right. So we'll see what happens there. You can see a lot of weaving going on. So those medium tires, they're not as hard to warm up, but obviously the softs will be superior. Um, so hopefully we'll see drivers with warm tires, no one spinning off the start. Yeah, I'm a victim of that. I've done that before. So see what happens. Predictions, Apex? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think people are knowing it's a sprint race. I hope actually some people start to like realize this is for the main event after this. But I do think people are going to be pushing very hard to get past. But yeah, I do expect the soft runners to be the people pushing the most, as Wheezy has been given a 5-second time penalty for collision with Reblets. So very eager to get away, as there we get confirmation of safety car is in this lap. So as everyone else starts to warm their tyres, as we have Stealth leading the way, how will he go early? He is just waiting. Back in the field, back up. Just waiting for his time to go. But yeah, I do expect to have a very entertaining race to the end, as Stealth just waiting for the safety car to peel in. Hawk Trio right on his tail, and Stealth is going. As I think we have a bit of commotion in the back there between VK and Reblet. But yeah, very clean getaway. Is HK going to look on panache? Milk also sits in the back there. It's the lead. Two leaders collide.
And there's contacts.
Oh, and he comes back on the track.
Oh, what an incident! They've
Hit.
spun round. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but I saw a
There's
McLaren and a
contact.
Haas. That is correct. I saw McLaren and a Haas going at it through the chicane, and through all of that, a Ferrari got caught up. I think they spun round. Not entirely sure what happened. That's going to be looked at by the stewards after the race.
Yes, that was HK Racing. He has lost his M play and he is struggling. I don't think he'll get back to the pits, but he's gone down to P16 as Panache and Milk now lead the way with Achuri. Or not Achuri, sorry, Tadachi and Rudy closely followed behind, but Tadachi with mega pace today. But yeah, very unfortunate what happened. Also, Crossdog already up to P10 on those softs, so he's done really well. Stealth gone down all the way to 11 for the penalty. And we see Bevo and Manitin going at it side by side into the Varianta Alta. Oh, they keep it nice and clean. We've got
well done.
Closely followed behind us. HK has spun, and HK goes down to last, so he will not be happy over that after all the practice he's put in. But yeah, Bevo and Manitin closely followed behind as we have a spin. That's Reblets. Oh, this is just
in P10
reversing, but yeah, nicely getting away. So that was an absolute hectic safety car restart.
It was, and we've got Stealth driving around the track with absolutely no wing whatsoever. So Sector 2 is going to be absolutely horrible for him with no front downforce. That incident, though, has given a lot of the drivers who are in the top 10, top 15 more positions. Crossdog is up. I believe he was 16th before the restart. He's up to 8th place on the softs. Keep in mind, we've had 2 or 3 safety car laps, so his tires in actuality are not very worn. So he's going to be able to make up some positions, as we see Man of Tin fighting with the McLaren. They touch right front and left rear, and he spins off. I believe the contact may have induced that spin, but we're going to leave it to the FIA to assign blame. I think there was just a few drivers getting caught up behind the car Stealth with no wing, so that's an unfortunate incident. Hopefully they can sort that out in the steward's room. But unfortunately, even if they do sort that out after the race, you will suffer right now, because the position you finish this race in will be the position you start the feature race in. So drivers like HK and Bevo are going to be fuming in the garages, knowing that they're going to be starting from the back. It's going to be quite difficult for them to make up those positions.
So Trenny has just gone down the inside of Man of 10, heading into the penultimate corner. But yeah, gets that done very nicely. So awesome job. Oh, as we have Wheezy gets past Foxy, and he's now going to have a look on Stealth with 0 front wing. There's going to be so much drag on that car, but he's keeping it up as they're 3 wide going into turn 1. What's going to happen here? Stealth looking like a rocket ship. Or as he misbreaks his point, he comes back on the track and he hits Foxy. But no damage there. As we see Trenny trying to shape up an overtake here. we see Stealth has gone wide and Trenny goes for it. And yeah, Stealth just backs out there. And Manitin closely followed behind. So Stealth keeping up a fight with no front wing, but for Oars. So Trenny has just hit Foxy. And Manitin starting to go down. He's inside. I think Manitin has got this. I think, nah. So Manitin has just overtaken Trenny as well. But Stealth struggling massively with no front wing right now. But yeah.
Yeah, what a move by Trenny. He just saw the gap and went for it quite safely. So well done to him. The Aston Martin is up a position there, but Stealth
Got a
is
yellow
struggling.
flag. Cross Dog has spun at the very end to Alter. He's not in a good position at the moment on the exit of the corner. Everyone just closely having to... Oh, it's massively close with Trenny. And HK nearly colliding into him, but...
Yeah.
Sad for
Yeah,
Cross Dog after all those positions.
I think Crossdog did the right thing. When you spin, if you have an accident and you're still on the track, it's important to remain stationary until all of the other drivers have gone past you. Because once you start moving, drivers that have already taken avoiding action are gonna move into you. So, well done to him for being stationary on track. As we see now, HK in the DRS of Reblet. These guys were teammates last season when they brought home the constructors and academy class.
That was close.
Makes a late defense from Reblets. Not entirely sure what's happened there, but they seem to have made it around the corner okay. Reblet seems to have defended that position and is still ahead of HK.
Yeah, just like to mention, by the way, Snoopaloop has successfully got past TTV VK as we were talking. So Snoopaloop is driving very well. And also the fight for P10 with Foxy, Trenny, Manitin is coming as Hawk Trio goes into the fastest lap. And also the battle for P2 is starting to spice up a bit as the clouds are getting nice and dark. So we will be seeing some rain towards the end of the sprint.
I would love to see some rain towards the end of the sprint. I wish I had the weather forecast for the feature race as well. Although I'm not sure anyone would trust my weather forecast because I'm known for giving out false information to throw off other engineers. But if we do see some rain, it's going to be very interesting because I'm not sure if any of the drivers have practiced in the rain. And if they have, it's going to come in quite handy. I think Trenny is going to be looking at the back of Foxy down the straight. He's just used some battery. But Achuri is going to make a move on Wheezy around the outside of turn one. He gets that move done before the first corner. So well done to him. He's going to pick up 2 points if he holds that position. Further back, we see Trenny in the DRS of Foxy using that battery. They're both flashing, so they're going to be both experiencing low deployment. But with the DRS, I think the move is going to be easily made for Trenny.
Yeah, so very nice overtake there from Trenny. As there are actually a few battles up the field right now, is Tadachi still closing in on Milk, and Panache just leading the way at the moment, having a nice drive, just keeping it clean as he's got 0 battles. But yeah, Tadachi looking for that P2, looking for them extra points in the championship. He's trying to gain on HK.
Yeah, Tadachi and HK, I'm not sure they're going to be wanting to fight that much. They are teammates, and if I'm going to speak as a Ferrari engineer and a team member, being in the garage with them is quite nice because they work together very well as teammates. So I think if it comes to pass in the feature race, they're going to be working together to try and move up the grid and get some more points for Ferrari. Ferrari RP1 in constructors, which I'm proud to.
just like to mention, by the way, Stealth on the intermediates, just predicting some of that rain. And also, as we see, Manitin is awarded a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Don't know what corner that is. As we also see Snoopaloop going around the outside of Robbie at the moment. And yeah, awesome overtake. And as Rudy also closes in on Tadachi. Yeah, so Snoopaloop moves up into P5.
Yeah, that's a great move by him. I just wanted to say that he started in 19th position, so he's up 14 places in P5 now, driving for Mercedes. He's a Ferrari driver in academy, so I have to say well done. But at the same time, stop doing so well as the other team. I'm just kidding, but he's having a great drive up in P5. Is a yellow flag. I think that is Stealth who spun on the intermediate, so no surprise there. Those tires are probably cooked. He's going to be getting blue flag shortly for the AlphaTauri of Trenny.
Oh,
But
Rebel sends it there. Very nice overtake, actually, if he can pull it off there. All space was given as he runs all the way out to the outside there. But
I
no,
think there was just a
neither-
light touch there. I think I just saw the
Yeah.
Ferrari and the Aston making slight contact. The Ferrari does have end plate damage, so he's not going to have the full benefit of front grip through what I like to call Mini Rouge. It seems to have the downforce though, so he's going to be coping. He's going to want to use that battery down the main straight to defend that position because this is going on to the last lap.
So these two have been butting heads all season so far at Netherlands with that contact, but this these two are good mates, so there's no bad blood between them. But always watching these guys fight, it's always entertaining to see who comes out on top. Just like to mention, Achuri goes around the outside of Robbie there, so lovely overtake into turn
Well
one.
done.
So yeah, and Tadachi now closing in on Milk as we head into the last lap. Tadachi is up a temp on his time, so you can see he is pushing massively. Also, Manatin getting past Foxy. Oh, as they kept it nice and clean there. Will HK be able to get Manatin with his penalty and able to get P12?
Yeah, I think the penalty is gonna move him down a few positions, possibly even
Yeah.
down to 15th or 14th rather. So it's unfortunate for him. If it was a 5-second penalty for something that occurred under safety car, unfortunately, not much the stewards can do about that because we can't really change the sprint result. So the position that they start the race in, sorry, the position that they finish the race now will be the position they start the race in next week. Next week, what is going on? Next race in the feature. But as we come around the final corner, Panache is going to take the win in the sprint, brings home 8 points for Alpine, and takes pole position for the feature race. Milk and HK round off the sprint podium. Rudiger's finishing P4 for Alfa Romeo. Snoop up 14 positions. It's a great drive from him in P5 for Mercedes, the reserve driver for Academy. Churi and Robbie taking P6 and 7. VK, another Academy driver, finishing 8th for Red Bull, which rounds off the point scoring positions in the sprint. Wheezy and Trunny run off the top 10 with Foxy, who had that incident on lap
Two
1 and had
McLarens
to
are
stop
going
for
at
the
it
new
actually right
tyres.
now, side by side. I think they're just trying to go. They're just, yeah, I think they're just messing around at the moment. But yeah, very unfortunate race for the two McLarens at the back of the grid. But yeah, just like to mention, our top 10 for the feature race is Panache, Milk, Didachi, Rudy, Snoop, Achiri, Robbie, VK, Wheezy, and Shrenny. Runs out our top 10. So that is our pole sitter Panache. Awesome drive from him, and VK running out the points as a reserve. So great drive from him.
Yeah,
So yeah, we
the
can move on to the
McLarens.
next race.
Just finishing off the race information, those two are good buddies, Hawktree and Bevel. They've been teammates for as long as I can remember. So I'm sure they were disappointed with the result. They lost quite a few positions, especially after that mega crash at the start, which I just cannot wait to see the footage for. So that finishes off the sprint. I'm not entirely sure who got the fastest lap. We'll check that on the result show up on
Pretty
screen.
sure it was Snoop actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an extra point for Snoop and
There's no
Mercedes.
points awarded for fastest lap in the sprint, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Whoops. If someone could correct me in chat, me or Apex, tell me if points are awarded for fastest lap in the sprint. That would be good. If I'm wrong, it's a bit embarrassing because I should be knowing these things as a commentator, but I am only human. So, yeah. I'm not sure if you can get the race director Vlad on stream so that anyone who needs that can get that done, or are we out of time? Yeah, it's a bit too late, unfortunately, but the results flash briefly on screen there. So, like I said, Panache on pole position for Alpine. I think that's the first Alpine pole position in Novice so far. So, the clouds are looking quite dark. Not entirely sure what the weather is. I wish I did. If any engineers in the chat, if you could let us know the weather and be truthful, please, so we can have some good information going out. If you could tell us the weather, if it's going to rain, that would be very nice to have, so we can get keen for the laps to come. As you start the countdown, hopefully you will have sound at this time. The issue should be fixed. Apologies for that.
Wearable, would you like to lead the way at the start?
I will, sure, I will. Hopefully I can see all the action and call it appropriately. We've got 5 seconds until the countdown is due to begin. So let's see what happens. The Imola Grand Prix in Novice. It's 3, 2, 1. Lights out. Lights out, and away we go. Panache is off to a squirrely start, but in the background we see Foxy. We see Foxy making up a few positions. Everyone's skeptically, no one's sideways yet. Milk and Mr. H, I believe that's Tadachi, going through the first corner quite cleanly. But there's an AlphaTauri that's gone round. I believe that's a Churi who's gone round. There might have been contact. We wait to see the replay if we can get one. But it's clean so far. Other than that incident, everyone's pointing the right direction. Everyone seems to be
Pretty is
not
going off.
losing any carbon. So I think all the wings are there. And just as I say that, our wing flies up into the air. I believe that's the wing of Stealth in the Haas. Foxy's going slowly. Not sure what's happened there. But so far, it's a bit chaotic, but a lot more tame than what we saw in the sprint.
But yes, very great start from everyone. It was always kept, it was nice and kept clean. We did see Foxy, Trenny, and a few other drivers have a little moment. But yeah, so it was a very nice getaway. No one has DNF'd yet, as we do see the two Alfa Romeos are fighting it, separated by 1/10, or they nearly hit, but kept it nice and clean. As we see, HK sends it down the inside of Trenny. What an overtake into the container. We don't see many overtakes there. What an overtake. As we also see Stealth, who looks to have end plate damage. Try to go around the outside of Trenny. What's going to happen here? Oh, and he nearly hits HK. Has to back out of it, but definitely tell HK on the alternate strat on the hards. Definitely had a great getaway from the back there. So, very good first lap. As we see, Panache has kept his P1 leading by 1.4 seconds. So, Panache is a man on a mission right now. So, he's, as we see, so Rudy and Snoop are going side by side. Rudy, oh, Snoop barely keeps it packed. It was to see Robbie and VK going side by side, and VK goes around the outside of Robbie. So yeah, a lot of battles to keep up with at the moment. But where boy, what did you think about that start? That was a pretty good start.
Yeah, well done to everyone. Everyone's still alive. There's no big gaps on field, so I believe everyone is driving a car that has all its parts on it. So Panache has had a really, really good start. That's a race-winning start if ever I saw one. He's clear of the DRS already, 1.7 seconds
Or if we
to
have a
Milk.
Stealth in the wall. Stealth has just gone into the barrier. This may be a safety car. But no, Stealth has hit the wall at Piratella.
Yeah, that's an interesting place to crash out. I'm not sure what happened there. Could be contact, could be just spinning. But if you look on screen now, we see a Churi bumping Foxy slightly in the back. Foxy's not going to be very happy about that. He's going to want to take that position down into the final two corners. But Panache crosses the line in P1, takes the fastest lap so far. Rudiges and Wheezy are chasing behind, not far off. Snoopaloop, though, has lost the position off the start, but is still in a good position on those hards. The alternate strategy is quite powerful. I'm surprised to see a lot of drivers on the hards, so I believe it's almost an even split between the mediums and the hards. So it's going to be interesting how those tire strategies interact with each other as the race goes on.
Oh, as we do see Manatin actually spins there. But has Manatin sustained any damage? No, so he just gets back on the track. But as you were saying, by the way, I've tried both strats out, and I do believe the hard medium strat is probably one of the best strats around here. But with the clouds right now and the track temperature being a bit lower than usual, the hards maybe a tricky tire to start on with the track temps. So them keeping them at temperature will be a bit tricky for those runners. But and who knows at the moment, because when they box for those mediums, which is around lap 20, as we just saw, so lap 14 for the medium runners, lap 20 for the hard runners, it just depends on who can drive the best, and if and people on the hards can stay out the best and just keep up that pace, then they would be in a great crack at getting points. As we also see HK and Robbie also fighting it out right now. So we see HK goes down the inside into the penultimate corner, actually outbrakes himself, goes into the gravel, and Robbie re-overtakes, and we can see Cross Dog right behind. So HK is racing, as we can see, not happy at the moment, but does get DRS. But hopefully HK can come back from this. We see, I think Foxy has spun. So we see Foxy spun. Also Salty has boxed on for the hards while we're talking, so he might have sustained some damage on lap 1.
Yeah, I think what we saw with HK there was a bit of ambition before adhesion, as Martin Brundle likes to call it. I think he may have been eager to get that move done and outbraked himself there. Although that's not really characteristic of HK. He's normally someone who's more composed and very patient with the overtaking. He doesn't really want to force moves. He likes to wait for the driver ahead to make a mistake, force him into errors. So that's uncharacteristic from him. Hopefully he can clean up and see what he's done. But he's done well. He's up into P9. I believe he's up 3-4 positions. So that's a good start for him, especially on the hard tire. He's not losing too much time. In fact, he's right behind Robbie. Snoopaloop, though, has left the lobby. He had a few internet issues yesterday, so that's unfortunate. Hopefully he can get back in before he loses too much time to the cars ahead. But it's
Yeah,
pretty calm now. Not a lot of battles going on. I do
got
see
a
a bit
battle
of a
for
DRS trade.
P3 at the moment, as
All
Tadachi
right.
has lost the rear, and it does look like Rudy is going to capitalize on this, and yes, Rudy has. So Rudy and Wheezy, that's a double alpha overtake. Will the two alphas fight this though? I don't think. No team orders right now. They're going to actually go side by side as Rudy backs out there. So
I think that
Wheezy
was
going
well
up
done.
positions.
Yeah, well done by the Alfa Romeos to make a double move on the Ferrari, Wheezy and Rudy. Rudy's an old teammate of mine. I can tell you, he's very calm, very composed behind the wheel. Doesn't like to make risky dives. So he's gonna love that position. They're up 2 positions now. They're both on the same tires, so the strategy is gonna be very interesting if they can hold station and see how that plays out towards the end. Tadachi, though, he's not too far behind on the hard tire, and if he can stay within their DRS, just follow them while they're on the faster, softer compound, he's going to be laughing towards the end when he has the softer compound with more grip and can form a bit of a gap and pull away, possibly even challenge for the win, but a podium at the minimum if he drives without mistakes. So he's doing quite well. 4 laps on the medium tire isn't a lot of degradation. The mediums are quite robust, so they can go a few laps before they start wearing off. I believe it's around 15 or so laps before you start to lose a significant amount of grip. So Snoopy Loop is back in the lobby in P7, so he's going to be right behind VK. So there's a bit of a DRS train forming behind VK, stretching all the way back to Crosstalk. So 5 cars all fighting for position. I think HK is going to
There's
want to
going for it.
overtake the Williams down the straight. He gets that move down quite easily. Don't think
Oh, as
Robbie
he
thought that
outbrakes
too hard.
himself.
But he has gone a bit deep. Possibly the pressure of the situation getting to him is going into the gravel. HK has taken that position, and Robbie has lost 2. Is behind the AlphaTauri now.
So they both, outbroke themselves. Just like to mention, by the way, as those battles were going on, Trenny put it in the wall at Tamburello at the exit of turn 3 and lost his front wing. So he's in the box right now. The new front wing is definitely not going to be happy with what happened there. But yeah, as we have got a good battle right now going on for P6. So we see HK right up Snooper Loop's gearbox. He will look like to be challenging it on the main straight. He's just closing him in. You can see HK with the more experience. Oh, and he's sold him a dummy. He's gone for the switchbacks here. He's gone for an overtake. It looks like his favourite overtaking place of the whole track. And yet he's got it done. So what an overtake from HK around the outside of the chicane. That was a lovely overtake from the man, the myth, the legend himself. And yeah, so he pushes on. And a lovely overtake there.
Yeah,
So see
he's on a mission.
Crossdog go down the inside of Snooperloop. But yeah, as you mentioned, HK is on a mission. He wants them points in the championship, and he's now closing it on VK and his own teammate Tadachi. So the Ferrari boys coming together to form now, putting Mr. VK in a sandwich. So yeah, as we also see Snooperloop repasses Crossdog. Has he outbroken himself? No. So awesome overtake regained from Snooperloop, who's on the hard compound. But yeah, so a lot of battles going on right now. Very entertaining race at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting watching the drivers race because when you go defensive into a corner, that really compromises your exit. So, if you can sell a dummy move and get the driver ahead to go defensive, you can really set yourself up for a good move on the exit of the chicane or corner you're going into. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers race from now on. Obviously, lap 7 is not where the points are won. The points come at the end of lap 32. So,
Oh, as HK has a big moment there. He actually lost the rear, it seems, at the exit of Mini Arouge, as you call it, sorry, or Aqua Minerale, as it's actually called. Yeah. We also see Hawktree has gone down the inside of Robbie, and Reblitz has also gone past Robbie. So Robbie has either got damage or is really struggling right now because he's just lost a lot of positions in the past few laps. So yeah, Reblitz also a man on a mission, looking to get his first points of the season, actually in P10 at the moment. But yeah, so HK losing a lot of time to VK. We also see with him DRS and ERS are deployed trying to get past Tadachi, but looks to be too far back.
yeah, I think Snoopaloop is going to try and play the team game here as a Ferrari driver. He might be reserving for Mercedes, but he is a Scuderia man at heart. So he might want to sort of pull back and allow HK to breathe and hold up the drivers behind. Because right now, Ferrari are in a great position. P5, P7 on the hard tire. They're the leading hard tire runners. So if they can just hold this position, keep the lap times coming in, they're going to be in a very good position towards the end. So this DRS train is quite interesting because a lot of drivers are choosing to use the battery, but it is difficult to overtake if the car ahead also has DRS, because really the only advantage you have is slipstream, but the car ahead also has the same slipstream. So uh, it's difficult to make moves in a DRS run. You really have to have a pace advantage. You really have to force the driver ahead into errors. So hopefully we can see some interesting moves going on.
Yeah, and I can tell this race, everyone needs to save a bit of ERS as this is a very hard track to regain. As we do have a yellow flag, which does look like it was one of the Williams. And I think it was, yes, it was. It was Robbie. So Robbie's day going from bad to worse. But yeah, as we also see Hawk Trio closing in on Reblitz, who is on the hard compound. So it looks like to be struggling on that compound. And we
Yeah, and
see
he's
a lot
got
of
way more battery.
yeah, so will Hawk Trio actually go for it on Reblitz right now? DRS, ERS deployed. Yeah, cutting through butter with a warm knife. Lovely overtake there.
Yeah, I don't think Reblitz fought that too much. He knew he didn't have the DRS or Slipstream to fight that. So Rebel's probably just going to sit behind Hulk Trio and let him lead for a few laps, try and recharge his battery with the DRS. As you said, it's quite difficult to recharge the battery around Imola. Even in the last game, it was incredibly, I think he only gained 2 or 3% per lap. So you have to be very sure. You have to be very sure when you use your battery.
Yeah, and like last game, you could see, or as we see VK, looks to have got a track limit warning there. But yes, as you said in the last game, this track was probably a lot easier as you could attack those sausage curves. But this game, with how low the cars are with the ground effect, it's a lot more difficult, and you can see how unsettled cars get over those sausage curves. Yeah, there's a few little packs forming. Panache, lovely out in the leaves. We do have a yellow flag, and it seems to be Trenny for Trenny's day. Not had a good race so far, as we also see Rebelitz has spun actually. So he looks to have. Oh, and he's just trying to get on the grass on hard. Oh, and he rejoined
Rejoin safely, please. Oh no.
Manitin, so that's not going to go well. But as we also see, VK gets past the championship leader of Tadachi. So those hards runners are struggling, but as we see the sun starting to come out, those tires will start to warm up and the hards will become full effect. So yeah, so the mediums will be at quite high deg right now. But yeah, as we've got 4 laps till they have to box it again, I'd like to mention Reblet has spun once again. Oh, and he rejoins right in front of Salty. So yikes. Poor Rebs may be in the incident report box there. As we also see Manatin has spun at the exit of turn 2, it seems, as he rejoins the track right in front of Foxy.
Yeah, I think Bassing's gonna be watching the stream and just making clips and adding those into tickets because, as we know, Bassing is cracking down on unsafe re-entries. So, um, do the right thing here, guys. Make sure you're looking at the track map if you have that open and just waiting to make sure you're not going to crash into any other drivers if you do go off track for any reason. But looking up the grid, Tadashi and HK are right next to each other, right behind each other, rather. So I think Tadashi is going to want to try and make some moves on VK, obviously on the hard tire. He's going to have a tiny bit more grip now as the hards start to have an advantage on the medium runners. But he's a bit too far to make a move, I think. He's not going to use the battery, just going to sit in the DRS and recharge some of the battery. But further
It's like
behind, Cross Dog.
Snoopaloop and Crossdog are going for it right now. They're going to go side by side. This is going to be a battle going into the corners. Can they keep it nice and clean? So Crossdog backing out, doing a smart move. Not realize they can go for it. So yeah. So
Yeah,
I think Crossdog will go for it next lap on the next DRS straight if he is closer.
yeah, it's very difficult to overtake into that corner if you're not ahead. So if you're not on the inside or ahead, I think it's always smarter to back out and just save yourself, because if you get thrown over those curbs, you can easily get sent around. Man of Tin is making friends with the brake markers. Slightly hits Foxy going into that corner I just talked about. So that's going to be interesting to see what happened there if one of them feels there's been a bit of an incident that needs to be reported. But yeah, I think that corner is quite difficult to overtake into generally if you're not ahead. So it's not like other corners where you can sort of cling around the outside and try and hold yourself in there and try and get space from the other driver to uh, take that position. So
Where boy, we've just got information from
yeah,
a viewer that there is no sound.
yeah. Unfortunately, not entirely sure what's going on with the sound. We are trying to work on that in the background. Uh, when we get that working, hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy the race in full effect. But in the chat now, we have a prediction for a winner. At the moment, we have 8.2 thousand channel points on Panache with 62% of the vote. So that's a pretty high confidence from the chat. I think a lot of people think Panache is going to take the win here. And I'm not gonna sledge him or anything because I think that's a very fair bet. He's been in the lead. He had a really good start and he just led Milk
Oh, it's
quite
Wheezy
confidently.
spins. Wheezy spins in P3. So Wheezy was actually like gaining on Milk and has proceeded to actually touch the curb wrong. So he's going to drop down to, it looks about P7. So two Ferrari boys both moving up, as also it looks the medium runners are struggling right now as HK and Tadachi have both DRS trained up to VK. So this is awesome news for these guys. So Wheezy has got a penalty as well. Very unfortunate for them, but here goes the two Ferrari guys. Can they get VK on this straight here? It looks to have both overtake and DRS on. Will they both get past him? It looks like HK is a little too far back, but will Tadachi go for it with the extra ERS? As we see, VK is blinking. No, as he's too far back at the moment, and yeah, so the slots back into position.
Yeah, Crossdog has gone into the pits on lap 13, so that's pretty early. No damage, or this is just a purely strategic call. He's going onto the hard, so that's he's gonna try and trigger the undercut here and get the other drivers boxing. But it will take a long time to get those hards warm up. So it's gonna be around 4 sectors before they get a good position, a good temperature, sorry. And by that time, I think the guys who stayed out on the mediums are gonna have the overcut on him. But then again, they're gonna have to go through that cycle where they wait for the tires to warm up. So it's an interesting strategy. I think if he plays it right, if he gets those tires up to temperature, uses the battery in the right places, he could get the undercut going and gain a few positions.
Yeah, so I have seen the undercut has been used very much around here, and this is a very easy track to actually do the undercut around. But yeah, as we also see, HK has gained a lot of pace in the past few laps, and is actually trying to challenge his teammate now. As we also get a yellow flag in sector 3, yes, for Hawk Trio. So Hawk Trio has spun out of Varianta Alta. So Wheezy now on the attack to Snooper Loop, and as VK has boxed. So it does look like VK is going for the undercut. Wait, sorry, this is actually the lap for medium runners to be pitting. So VK coming in for his scheduled pit stop and is boxing onto the white ring tyre. So yeah, as we also see, Manatin looks like he's just having some fun out in the fields right now, mowing some lawn. As we see Salty looks to go side by side with him.
And
See, is he going to fight it?
I think Manipton's going to get the position here because he's behind. He got a better exit and he's going to get the DRS. So down the main straight, I'm not going to be surprised if Manipton promptly picks up the position he just lost to Foxy by going off track there. Going to use that battery, use the DRS and the slipstream, the
Oh, he hit the
LPing.
wall on the straight.
Yeah, just lightly. Nothing wrong with brushing the wall, but
Just giving it a kiss.
just giving it a kiss. But that's not really good for overtaking. So he's going to hold back there and try and make a move on the next lap.
Yeah, the battle for the top 4 right now is actually heating up massively as we see Wheezy and Snooperloop battling as the gap for Panache. Oh, as we see our race leader is pitting right now. As he heads into the box. He's pitting actually a lap later. No, a lap earlier, sorry. So he is boxing onto the hard and will be going to the end. So
It's an interesting
awesome
time to
start.
pit as a leader because normally as a leader, all you have to do is do what the driver behind does. So if you're in P1 and the guy behind stops for hards, you stop for hards. So you don't lose any time on different strategies. So that's an interesting call. If a safety car comes out now, Milk is going to be absolutely enjoying that because he's going to be able to hold the lead. As I say that, a yellow flag comes out. It's almost as if I summoned a safety car. No crash yet, no DNF, so no safety car at the moment.
Just like mentioned, by the way, Crossdog and Crossdog and TTVVK actually going at it right now, as it looks to be that Manatin has spun once again. It's not looking like he's having the best day, but yes, there is a fight for P10 at the moment. Sorry, P9 actually. So I don't think Crossdog has pit, so that undercut from Crossdog has already got him all the way up to I think VK's in P8 if I'm not wrong. P7. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the strategies play out now. Because if a safety car comes out, those guys who box for the hards, last lap or the lap before are not going to be very happy because all the guys ahead are going to get very cheap pit stops. So I believe
So
the
yeah,
pit loss is around 25 seconds here. It's a very slow pit lane.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, by the way, the top 7, it seems. Oh, sorry, no, the 7th to 13th have all boxed. So they're all going to the end.
With the exception of Salty, though. Salty's been out on those mediums. So he's probably going to want to stay out until lap 20 or so to go into the. Sorry, he started on the hard. He's going to want to go to the mediums on lap 20. So we're seeing people make their pit stops now. No surprise, Milk has dropped back behind Panache, but Panache is going to have um, much warmer tires. So he's going to lose a lot of time to Milk and possibly even to Rudy, who has currently overtaken Wheezy, it seems. Um, or
Well, it's
that's Wheezy
Crossdog
making a pit
just
stop.
past VK. A lovely overtake there from Crossdog, who moves up into P8 right now. So awesome job from Crossdog there. And it seems Wheezy may have lost out. Yeah, he has lost out to VK and Crossdog. Or as we see, Crossdog goes into the gravel there, but keeps it nicely. But yeah, awesome awesome debut race for Crossdog right now.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. His net P4 at the moment. Um, if you disregard the guys in the top 4 who haven't made their pit stops. Right now it's a Ferrari 1-2 around Imola, which I am very happy to see, but unfortunately that's before the pit stop. So if a VSC or a safety car comes out now, that'd be absolutely great timing for them because they get a cheap pit stop on the mediums and they'll have the tire advantage for the rest
Oh,
of
his
the race.
Crossdog actually spins in front of VK. I just caught the end of that, but he's actually done a perfect 360 in the end, so not losing that much time. But yeah, very unfortunate for Crossdog, who has fun. So the commentator's curse is real. And yeah, also like to mention, by the way, I think if that is... Oh, it's Rebels has gone into the wall at
Oh
Piratella.
dear, that
So
might be the safety car.
that is the safety car.
That is the safety car. So the Ferraris are
It's
going to be
only a virtual
absolutely
though.
happy.
It's
They're
only
going
a
to be
virtual.
so happy. Yeah. It is a virtual safety car though, so that might just end up ending as they get to the pits. I think virtual safety cars last for around 2 to 3 sectors. So if they can get into the pits, get that cheap pit stop, they're going to be able to have a good time on the strategy. Unfortunately, they will have to double stack. So Tadachi's going to go in and HK is going to go in behind Tadachi. And HK is going to lose a bit of time there in the pit stop as the Ferrari. It's not really a Ferrari issue. It's just generally a game issue. But I think HK is going to lose a bit of time, possibly 1 or 2 seconds, as the game resets the pit box to get him on the tires. Sneeper Loop as well. In the Mercedes, he's going to have a cheap stop without the penalty that he has to face for double stacking. Bevo as well. We haven't mentioned Bevo in a while. He had a bit of a spin. Had a bit of a spin in the sprint race, but HK has stayed out. Interestingly, I think he's not willing to lose too much time with the double stack, but it is a VSC, so he's going to lose that opportunity for a cheap pit stop. So it's an interesting decision from the Ferrari garage.
I do think they just don't want to lose the position to Snooperloop, who is very closely followed behind. But also, it is a virtual, and I don't think they want to put him in traffic. As we can see, they've actually followed behind Rudy as we are racing again. As cold tires for Tadachi right now. Snooperloop may be able to get him, but he's actually so much faster on those warmer tires now. Or Wheezy looking for on VK, but slowly backs out. But yes, as we've got HK, our only person off the box at the moment, who is waiting for his pit window of lap 20 is. But yeah, if he can just keep the pace out there, he's in clean air, which he probably wanted. Just put in some nice laps, he should be in for a good contention of some good points. But yeah, also Reblet's very annoyed for him as we get Foxy is retired. So this might be the safety car I've been wanting after the virtual. I don't think we're going to get a safety car though.
It's a bit confusing. Not entirely sure how the safety car works.
Oh,
Oh,
we
that
do.
is a
We get a
safety car.
car.
It's a full safety. So HK, I'm pretty sure HK was going to be out and waiting probably for a few extra laps to go to the soft tire because HK is one to really love to use the soft tires. So I think HK is probably going to come into the box now for mediums because it's 13 laps. The softs are not going to be
that was a
happy.
late safety car actually.
Yeah, very late. If the safety car was called in a couple seconds earlier, I think HK could have
I
come
think
into the pits right before then.
if I'm not wrong, by the way, I think HK will actually come out in the lead of the race. So staying out longer, he's just gotten so lucky. And yeah, so wow.
Yeah, I think now the question is, will he be on mediums or will he be on softs? Because the softs can do 11 laps, and with the safety car, the wear is reduced. So it's going to be interesting to see what he boxes onto. I think HK is in a very good position now to take home the win
He's got a
in
box for those
Imola.
mediums though. Softs will not last. I
Yeah,
know softs are the best tire, but mediums is just like the comfortable tire you want to be on.
yeah. I personally would go into the mediums. The softs are a good option, but I would go into the mediums because of the length of the stint and just, the risk of spinning it once you start losing grip and start fighting other drivers. So we'll see what HK decides to do. HK is one who loves to practice his strategies, spends hours a week just, getting used to the game mechanics, obviously going slow into the pits to avoid getting a speeding penalty.
And it
Um,
goes to an absolute stop, as we can definitely tell. Last week,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did get a pen for it, so definitely not wanting to happen again. As we see, yes, he is boxing onto the
well
medium
done.
tire with his his minion pit crew, and
The minion pit crew.
I think HK will, if I'm not wrong, come out P3 behind Rudy,
I think
or
so.
I think so. So he's gone and jumped. We need confirmation, yeah, because Rudy coming out now. No, so he jumped his teammate,
It's
and
gonna be interesting.
he's in the freshest compound out of all the top three runners. With warm tires, we right up their gearboxes. HK, I've got to say, is my favourite. Same as those guys, rapid pace. That safety car coming out and helping HK. So this could be very entertaining towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch. I think HK is in a prime position to win on the younger, softer compound. Tadachi as well is going to be in the mix, so hopefully they can work together. Panache is going to have a lot of defending to do as he tries to hold back Milk, Rudy, and HK for the win. Panache has shown a lot of pace this race. Started on pole after winning the sprint and taking the 8 points there. So we'll see if he can take home an extra 25 in the feature race. I'm not entirely sure who's going to win. It could go any direction. We could have another safety car. We could have some unexpected incidents. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I don't think there's any safe bet right now.
You get safety car in the next lap when Trenny catches back up to the field, and so yeah, so Trenny not having the best of race, but hopefully the safety car flips things back around for him. But yeah, as we see, our DNFs right now is Stealth, Reblets, and Foxy. So very unfortunate for them.
Vlad, if you could mute the mic, we're getting a lot of feedback on stream.
Boy, do you think it will be like last safety car restart in the sprint race, or do you think these guys will recognize what happened last time and take it a bit slower than usual?
I think the sprint just activates something in drivers. I think they just think it's now or never. It's we do it now or we don't do it at all. So I think with the race, a lot of people are more patient and they wait a few extra laps, especially now when you have another 11 laps, but this time you have a tire advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see how drivers approach it. Hopefully they're more calm and remember that the points are won at the end, not on lap 22 or 23 when the safety car comes in. So I think it's going to be clean. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be clean.
Yeah, we do hope it will be clean as we see that Trenny is on the hards and he is just catching up towards the back of the pack as the safety car heads into the last sector and see Achiri and Man of Tin have both caught the safety car now and we're just waiting for Trenny. And I do think we're going to have a late safety car, so people may have to warm up their tyres now. And we're just waiting for our confirmation. It may be a very late safety car, actually. And yep, it is. So will those hard runners be caught out by that? We see Panache dropping below 55 there, but no, it doesn't actually. Oh, as we get Crossdog gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags at the back. Or as we see HK eager to go, already got the ERS on. As we see Panache go very
Yeah, but
early, and it looks like it's caught Tadachi off guard there. As we also see Crossdog and Snooper Loop side by side at the moment. People look like they're just keeping single five. Got a few people going side by side at the moment. We see a McLaren or jumping over the curves at the back there. As we see Crossdog and Wheezy bumping into each other. As we see Bevo go around the outside. As we also see HK down the inside of Rudy. So awesome overtake going into the Villeneuve chicane there. It's like HK now in clean air. As we also see Tadachi round the outside of Tosa. Can he get the move done with a better tire advantage?
ooh,
And yes, he does.
one of the William just collected the boards there. I think Wheezy's gone around. Uh, I'm not sure the number of the corner. I'll get that up immediately, but he's gone around at turn 7, possibly with the cold tires not having a lot of grip on the rear on traction. But it's a pretty clean restart so far. Not a lot of contact, not a lot of spinning, other than
Yeah.
the unfortunate incident with Wheezy.
I
But
do
HK made up that position very quickly. I was expecting it to take a few more laps before he got past Rudy, because Rudy is a very good defender, very clean. HK as well, very mature. So well done to him for making up that position. He's putting himself in a prime position to make up those positions and get the win today.
Yeah, but it was a very clean getaway from everyone. You could see a few people did actually have a little scruffy getaways. See Wheezy actually spun at Tosa or turn 7. Has lost a bit of his end play, and also VK has dropped back to P13. I don't actually know where he was at the start of the safety car restart, but as we see Snooper Loop and Rudy going for it at the moment, what's going to happen here? They keep it nice and clean through Tamburello chicane. It
Well
looks like
done.
Snooper Loop has got the overtake there, so awesome overtake for Snoop. Yes, we also
Yes.
see the gap coming down 10th by 10th every corner for HK Racing, as the gap is now 7 tenths to Milk now. He does look like he will be on for the attack right now, as we also see Milk now 8 tenths to Panache, who has been in a league of his own today.
Yeah, VK was not in the lobby, unfortunately. So that's why they've lost a few positions there. They were not in the lobby, so the AI, which is much slower than the drivers in the lobby, lost a few positions there. Um, I'm surprised to see all the drivers have kept it so clean and so close. There's going to be a very big DRS train if things hold up as they are at the moment. But with the delta advantages from the tires, so the tire deltas, it's going to be a lot easier to overtake since you're not,
Churi
in the
and
same wear.
Rudy going for it at the moment, right, by the way, and Churi actually has gotten past. So it looks like Rudy is struggling massively on those hards at the moment, as we have DRS enabled this lap, which will help for more overtaking. But yeah, so it does look like Rudy is struggling massively. But yeah, as we see, not many people, or as we see Man of Tin actually fighting with VK at the moment. Does look like he gets the position. Oh, and he takes a move at him, tries to shove him off to the outside there. So we also see Trenny actually going for an overtake, and Trenny actually has got the overtake as VK has conceded out of that. So yeah, VK down to P15. So he's not going to be very happy with that. Yeah, very unfortunate for him, but Trenny has moved up to P14.
Yeah, well done from a lot of the drivers keeping it clean. I saw HK having a look at Milk, just not wanting to send it, just putting a bit of pressure on here, saying, I am in your mirrors, filling your mirrors. Be aware of me. I'm going to come get your position from
The
you
yellow
later with
flag,
the
by the
soft
way. It looks
tires.
like one of the McLarens has spun. We've also got Wheezy has spun, actually. But yeah, Bevo has spun at Piratella. Very unfortunate for him, as we see him slowly rejoining the track, trying not to spin again. See, so that's probably one of the main key factors of this game. But yeah, as we cut back to the battle between HK and Milk at the moment, does look like he's a lot closer this time and has got that DRS advantage. Or he makes a little mistake there.
But
But
he's
do
got
you
so
think...
much more traction on the exit. He's going to use the battery and put pressure on Milk. He's going to be in the slipstream, possibly with lower wings, because he's gaining quite a lot. He's going to go down the inside into the chicane. He has that inside line, which is ideal. He's ahead, so he gets to move down before turn 1. No unnecessary squabbling from HK and Milk. So HK is taking that position, and that puts Panache in his sight. So Panache is going to be under pressure from HK, possibly on the next lap with that tire advantage, because you really want to get those moves done while you have the most grip from your tires.
Yeah, so a lovely overtake there from HK. He just slotted in behind with the DRS. And yeah, as we also got Tadachi, who definitely will be using his tire advantage as well to try get Milk. And also Snooper Loop as well is on the same strat as them. So he'll be trying to get up the positions quickly, maybe trying to get a podium maybe. But yeah, two Ferrari boys are driving fantastic at the moment. As we do have,
Whoa!
oh, that was what happened there.
I am not sure, but I saw one of either was the Williams or the Alpine just flying across one of the corners, and there was an end play going. So definitely some contact there. Rudy gets us picked up a 3-second penalty, and I feel like we haven't talked about the penalties enough, because if you're in a DRS train and you pick up a penalty, you are going to be suffering towards the end of the race when you lose all those positions. Like Snoopaloop, reserving for Mercedes, he's a Ferrari Academy driver with 6 seconds of penalties, and even though the drivers behind also have 3-second penalty, he's going to lose maybe 1 or 2 positions if he doesn't build a big enough gap. But the top four, all without penalties, not entirely sure how many warnings they have at the moment. As you
Would
see,
you like me to check?
Rudiges making a move. Sorry, Rudiges having
Ooh,
to defend, but there is contact, and Rudiges has gone round. We'll leave that for the FIA to decide who's at fault there. Rudy and Churi going through turn 1 and 2, which is a very difficult part of the track to go side by side into, given how tight and fast it is. So Rudiges has lost a few positions there. He was going to be in for possibly a top five if he could make it to the end, but unfortunately now he is out of the points, which is unfortunate. Churi, though, in P7, a reserve driver, used to be a full-time driver, but dropped down to reserve due to some scheduling issues. But looking forward, HK just 3 tenths behind Panache. He's going to want to make that move probably into the next DRS zone, because Milk is just close behind him as well. So HK might be forced into making a move due to Milk being such being close behind him. But we're about to find out as they go onto the DRS detection zone just before the second to last corner. HK is gonna want to use that battery. Milk is using his battery as well, possibly to try and make a double move on Panache if HK can get it done, which he does. Going too wide down the main straight, he takes the position well before the corner. Panache was flashing, so clearly he was feeling the pressure. HK takes the lead of the Grand Prix in the Ferrari.
so yeah, in Ferrari's home as well. So crowd is going to be loving this, watching one of the most loved people in the whole of ARL take the lead of the race off Panache. But Panache actually gets a penalty there. So Panache sadly is awarded a 3-second penalty while following HK. Very unfortunate. But if you would like, I've got the race director here, and we can check on the penalties if you would like.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know, because Panache has picked up a 3-second penalty, which I'm pretty sure puts him out of contention from the win at this point, since he's not going to be able to overtake HK and pull a 3-second gap unless a miracle happens. Never say never in racing; anything could happen.
Yeah.
So
we've got
we'll see how
HK's
that comes.
So HK got a warning on lap 25. So this is just for the top four, by the way. And Panache has just got has got 2 warnings and a penalty. Milk has got a warning which happened last lap, and Tadachi is running on 2 warnings at the moment. So Tadachi on his last stand. So yeah, the top 4. So HK probably being the what's it called, the most nicest driver with track limits, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's going to be very happy with that, because having Panache for the 3-second time penalty does take a bit of pressure off him to try and maintain that gap. Because even though HK does have the tire advantage, if Panache can use his ERS wisely, he can stay within the DRS. As you see, Treni making a move around turn 1 on the Alpine of Maniftin, and they keep it clean. They give each other room, but Maniftin gets a much better exit, and he's going to use the battery to try and chase down Treni and get back the position he just lost. But he just backs up before the next chicane because he knows it's not going to work. But Treni has gone round and he makes contact. There's damage. There's carbon flying. I'm not entirely sure why he went round, but he's lost a position 2 even, and he's got damage to show for it. So unfortunate there from the Aston Martin.
Mentioned that I had a glitch where I checked the race director and it wouldn't let me get out of the race director, so I've just had to leave at the moment.
All right, I will keep it going then while you sort out your issues.
I've still got the stream up, so I can commentate if needed.
But yeah, Treni seemed to just lose a bit of grip of the rear there, and went around at the exit of the chicane, which sent him into the side of Man of Din. Clearly nothing intentional there. Just seems to be a bit of bad luck there. So he's going to have that damage. He's going to be not happy, struggling with the front downforce there. So the top 4 all within DRS here. So it's going to be a DRS train to the end. Obviously, Panache with the 3-second time penalty is not going to be in an ideal position when it comes to position. So he's probably going to end up finishing outside the podium places in P4. given that Snoopy Loop as well also has a time penalty. But HK has just broken DRS to Panache, which is really going to help out Milk and Tadashi rather in making those overtakes, because if they can get them done now on this lap, then they can have a really good position. They're going to be in a really good position to try and get that P2, because I think HK is going to comfortably take the win here if he continues to push like he is now. Milk on 50% battery, Tadashi on 37, so there's a tiny bit of an advantage in favor of the Haas here, but we're going to see how they squabble. I think Panache has just managed to get a really good exit and pick up DRS, but he's lost it quickly as HK uses the battery. DRS detection zone is right there. They've just gone through it. That's the white line on track. Panache is going to try and break the slipstream and use the battery to defend position, even though it's probably not going to matter at the end with the time penalty. Milk using the battery in the slipstream, low deployment for Panache, makes the move down the inside of the track going into turn one. Tadashi is waiting for them to make a mistake, possibly to pick up a position if the two ahead fight too hard. But he gets a really good switchback, and through goes Tadashi on Panache. What a move from the Ferrari! Set that up corners before, and he's up into P3. So it's a Ferrari 1-3, Milk in the Haas separating them with the older, harder compound. So this could be a Ferrari 1-2 if they play their cards right. I'm not entirely sure what happened there with the I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the battery for the top three, but I think HK has lost a bit of time. He might have gotten a bit of oversteer, which has allowed Milk to get back in DRS, but he's lost the position to Tadashi. He might have made a mistake, and he's also picked up a 3-second time penalty, Tadashi, there. So we'll see what happened. He might have gone off to avoid a crash or something, but that 3-second time penalty is going to affect him as bad as it's going to affect Panache. So it's looking like a Ferrari 1-2 is going to be unlikely at the moment, unless one of those warnings is can be removed by the stewards. We'll see what happens after the race. But Milk right now in an ideal position for the second place.
Just recently joined back, so yeah, all good. Yeah, I just missed that, but yeah, I did say with Panache. Oh, sorry, no, Tadachi having 2 warnings. We also say Milk regaining his position. Will Panache have a look there? Don't think so. But I do think Tadachi won't actually go back that many positions. I think Tadachi won't lose any positions, actually. We do see a Turian Salty, shoves him onto the grass there. That's a good, kept his nose in there. He gets the overtake done, so awesome overtake there from a Churi on Salty.
Whoa, and this just gone around after making the overtake possibly too early on the power, and he's spun and he's picked up 1 and 2 cars. Robbie has DNF. That's so unfortunate. But further up the track, Snoopy Loop has also DNF'd. I'm not sure what's going on. They've gone so well for 30 laps, but lap 31.
Also, HK spun. Our race leader has spun and lost his front wing.
Oh dear, that's unfortunate. HK, who was looking so likely to win the race with the time penalties from the drivers behind, has gone round and lost his entire front wing. He is going to be punching himself for that, because he knows that error was probably unforced. We're not entirely sure what's happened there. We'll wait to see details after the race, sorry.
And Milk actually giving it to them now. They are hitting, but so much has just happened this lap. As we have more yellow flags, as I think Rudy has actually gone around. But yes, we see Tadachi takes the lead of the race on the final lap. Will Panache have an answer to this? Will he overtake Milk? No, he stays behind. So Tadachi is in P1 at the moment. HK, I feel so sorry. He was looking to win this race, but looks to have spun at Piratella and lost his front wing.
Yeah, my heart bleeds for him, because he was going to get that win. I think that was his win in the bag. We're not entirely sure what happened. Looks to be a driver error, but there could have been an issue up ahead. Yeah, I think he just doesn't have a wing, so he's going to be struggling to finish the race. I think he's going to have to be satisfied with 6th place, given the time penalty and the damage he's gotten. So Tadashi, Tadashi.
Milk actually gets a penalty, so Tadachi can win this. Milk has sold it on the last lap.
What an ending. So we have the race leader spinning, 2 cars DNFing on lap 31. And on lap 32, the driver who looked to finish the race in P1 on track and P2 after the time penalty is now going to take the win as he comes around the final corner with the 3-second time penalty to win the race here in Imola. Tadashi wins the
For
Emilia-Romagna Grand
Ferrari.
Prix for Ferrari ahead of Milk and Panache, who finish up the podium places. Crossdog is coming round the final corner now uh, in P4, but with 11 seconds of time penalties. It's going to be looked at after the
Whole
race.
trio goes into
Hope
P. And
Trio,
a hard
yes.
field to this man. HK Racing comes home in P6 it is. With no front wing, so a good recovery in the end after spinning, but that should have been a win in my books. But yeah, but Tadachi bringing home the win right now, and I gotta say he definitely probably didn't expect that. So a very entertaining race towards the end there. That was hectic. That was massive, but a great
Yeah.
performance anyway from the Ferrari thing. 1 and 6. They probably wanted a 1 and 2, but they've got to take what they got to get. This is racing, like you said. Anything can happen. As we see,
Anything can happen, and it did.
yeah, it did. And as we see, Trenny has come across the line to get P12s, and not a great afternoon for him. And Bevo, is he going for a lap? Is he going for the lap? Yeah, he goes and sets the fastest lap. A
Yeah.
very entertaining race towards the end, but Mr. Tadachi takes out the win, so awesome performance for him.
Let's take a breather and relax because those last 2 laps were absolutely insane. We had time penalties get thrown into the mix, incredible switchbacks, drivers spinning out from the lead, and at the end on the final chicane, before the final corner, a warning being given to the second place driver who was going to win the race after time penalties. So I don't think anyone could have guessed the ending. Looking at the prediction in chat, we had 57% people of the people who voted expecting a panache win, with 40% thinking Rudy would win, but nobody thought Tadachi would win. Interesting. There's no points on Tadashi, but he's taken home the win today. He's going to extend his championship lead by another 25 points. Um, so yeah, it's an eventful ending. The points are scored on the final lap, as we said before, and of course we did have the sprint race, so that's going to add up to a big points haul for
Yeah,
Tadachi, who's taken home
31
31
points.
points.
So he will spread out his lead in the championship by a long margin over. I don't think is HK still second. I don't know. I'll have to get my calculator out. Yeah, HK only coming home with I think it's 8 points in the end. It's a very bitter performance for HK there. Massive blow in the championship, but I do think Ferrari will still sustain the first in the constructors though. So they are doing fantastic at the moment.
Yeah, I think Ferrari, even though they were likely to take home a 1-2, we're gonna have to be happy with a 1-6 because that's still a very big haul of points. They're in the lead of the constructors championship in combined. In novice, if I can get that up, they're also in the lead. I believe there were 17 plus 9 is I don't want to do maths on stream in case I get it wrong, but they had a big gap to
There's
Alpine,
26.
which I think has been extended now by quite a large margin with the win and the P6. So big points all for Ferrari. We'll see if we can get some interviews going. There are quite a few drivers in the Discord.
Who are we thinking of grabbing? Race leader. I think we should be grabbing.
We'll give them a bit of warning first of all, so they're not just dragging them in.
Yeah, I'll just message you.
I'd like to hear from Panache if possible. I'd
Yep.
also like to hear from a race winner Tadachi, HK. I'm not HK is not in the Discord at the moment, unfortunately.
Yep.
But we'll get
I'm just bringing up
Tadachi in.
Tadachi. I'm just bringing up Tadachi. Congratulations, Tadachi, on the race win there. Awesome performance, man. And yeah, so congrats.
Man, kind of a gifted win, I think. I was pretty lucky there at the end. Just to keep, with HK especially. HK was amazing that race. It's just a shame what happened. But it is what it is.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw that you had incredible pace in the race. You made up a lot of positions, and with the safety car coming out when you did, it really helped you with the strategy. So, what was it like in the Ferrari garage when the safety car came out? How was the attitude? How was the reaction?
It was pretty calm, but what did me in a little bit was the release. I had to change the dead zone on my brake because it kept turning off my DRS, and I didn't release my car first. So I kind of griefed myself pretty hard.
Wow. So you had a issue with the brake pedal, and you still got the win. So good on you. That was a great race. It's a win for win for Ferrari at Imola, which is always a great thing. Do you have any
Yeah.
insight on what happened with HK? Because we're not going to be able to get him in for an interview. So, what happened with HK there towards the end?
I mean, we had former Ferrari teammate Snoopaloop crash. He wasn't very happy. I think that distracted HK a little bit. And he just was trying to make that gap so Milk wouldn't catch him, and yeah, it all kind of just bundled together, and he spun.
Yeah, sounds unlucky. But you guys drove a brilliant race today. Big points for Ferrari that have just extended their lead in the Constructors Championship. So, Apex, any questions? Any final
No,
comments?
I've just got to say, mate, yeah, you just were there all day. I got to say, you did really well in the second stint. And yeah, and I think, thing is, though, you just got to be there to get the points. And that's what pretty much
Yeah.
racing is. And yeah, you were just there all day. So I can't fault anything you did. You drove amazingly. Nice overtake on Milk on the final lap. And I don't think you probably expected to win that, but him getting that penalty at Aqua Minerale probably just thought a sign of relief, thinking I can win this. And yeah, so awesome performance, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, any other comments you would like to add, or is that all for today, man?
I mean, Ferrari for overall constructors confirmed. That's it.
All right, so it's lovely to hear the Ferrari boys chanting. So yeah, well, you take it easy, mate, and yeah, have a great night.
Thanks.
All right, who do you want to get on next?
We'll see who's still in the garage. A lot of drivers are quickly leaving, and I don't think they're very happy. I'll see
No.
if we can get Salty in to see what happened at the start.
Yeah, and sprint race, because there was a few contact there.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't catch him out.
I'll got him.
Yeah, he's alone in a call. So let's drag him in. That is the wrong
me
one.
just
I
get-
moved him to.
Let me just get. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Salty.
Salty.
You don't sound very happy to be here.
Oh yes, it was.
Is
Yeah,
that
Meh,
mid-race? Meh.
meh. The start wasn't
Yeah.
very. The sprint wasn't. The sprint was pretty boring. I didn't see anyone the entire race after the first corner.
Didn't even make it to the first corner.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I didn't see anyone for the rest
Yeah.
of the first corner.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
well,
happened there?
that was more. I went straight, and then the
Sure it's a funny
Alpine
map.
went left, and it was just more of a racing than anything. Because I got a good start, and then I hit the back of Hawk Trio, which everyone else came up beside me, and I was still holding my line. I wasn't accounting for everyone behind me, and so it was more just we both got our lines mixed up. And
Yeah.
and then, so did you guys catch the Achuri incident? Me, Achuri, and my teammate.
We've
Oh,
got a
yes.
lot of incidents on stream. To be honest.
Yeah,
I caught it on my
Yeah.
my screen. It was just he spun, and then Robbie had nowhere to go as he
Yeah.
rolled back and just killed
Yeah.
him.
It was a little bit rough. We were on for
Yeah.
double points there at the end.
And
But
there was a lot that happened that fight. It was lap 31 because Snooper Loop DNF'd, HK, our race leader, spun and resulted in losing his front wing at Piratella. And your incident involving a Churi. So
now I can get my 3 seconds removed because I got 2 warnings in 1 lap.
of course.
And one of the, I think it was up turn 3.
And what would that put you, Soldy?
Oh, nowhere. It's just covering myself from like Manitin and that, who had a 3 second and might also have that same situation. So I might stick with P7, hopefully. Maybe, which is good starting from the back and getting P7 and then also having that bit in the race where I also spun was last for quite a while. So overall, I'm happy with it. It could be better. Disappointed with some things, but got points. It's the main thing.
Yeah. Well done. I think your points will help Williams. I think you're just about to hop ahead of Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
in
well,
the,
they had somewhat decent race, didn't they? Where'd they finish?
I believe Whippy, who was reserving, finished outside the points and really was P10. So I believe you hop on top of Alfa Romeo and McLaren. Although I'm not entirely sure because of the sprint race. The sprint race could mess up my maths, but it's still all to play for.
Yeah, hopefully it improves over the season. I can get another podium by the end of it.
Yeah.
Is hopefully the goal, or just be more consistent top 10 finisher. I reckon if I can get into the top 10 finish more consistent, I'll be able to be in the head in the sprint race a bit more and get out of the riff-raff at the back. Sometimes causes problems, 'cause especially with no ghosting and being in the Novice division, there's going to be a spin. The worst thing about being taken out the sprint is because I knew at that race restart that if someone goes off at the front and spins in the middle of the track, 'cause of how small of a track it is, it can really ruin your race.
Not much to do when
Yeah.
you're in that position. I think the Italian tracks, Monza and Imola, are notorious for having horrible
Yeah.
turn
I mean,
ones in league races.
because I was ahead of Robbie, I was like, left a track coming on, driver slow. Every time I went past someone, saved his life a few times, but unfortunately didn't. I did tell him, a cheery middle of the track, go left, but might have been a bit of the wrong call. But
Yeah.
definitely got to watch out, and I don't think Singapore's going to be any better, to be honest.
Yeah, Singapore's going to be very
Singapore
interesting
fun.
next time. I think
I'm
you're going to
looking
have a lot
forward
more
to it.
damage.
I'm looking forward to it because I think I'll enjoy that type of track. It's just if I can keep it out of the wall,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
But I think the FIA is going to have a tough job this week. I think they're going to have a tough job next week. I think the next 2 seasons, with how difficult the tracks are and ghosting and off and being all of that, I think the FIA is going to be in for a wild ride.
Nah,
Yeah.
but even with the DNF he had in the sprint race, I think he drove pretty nice, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, the track is just so small, and like I can agree with you.
Yeah.
It's so hard to avoid incidents when they are prone.
Yeah,
And,
especially if there's a
yeah,
spin. It's just
yeah, easily. But no,
all right. Well, I'll let you guys wrap up the stream. Have fun, and make sure everyone tunes in on Thursday when I cast with, I think, we're again, right?
Yeah, I think I'm doing double
Yeah,
duty
you and
this
me.
week.
Yeah,
You get to watch
self
anyway.
promo
Yeah.
our own race because
Or-
it's elite. It's the better
yeah,
version.
give me attention, please. I'll spin out to you guys.
I will. I'll make sure I jinx you. It's all right. I'll
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
bad
of
luck
course.
the entire race. All right.
Give me
I'll
commentator's
see.
curse, please.
I will do. All right. I'll see you later.
Take it easy. Yep.
See ya. And I think that brings to an end another eventful race here in Novice. That was a very interesting race for the championship. A lot of positions are going to change as a result. We'll wait to see how the tickets go. I'm seeing them pop up like wildfires in the Discord. So
Yeah.
thank you all for tuning in for the race today. I have been Weruboy.
And I've been Apex, and yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to tune you in tomorrow at 6 a.m. Australian Western Time, which is where I'm from, and 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. So thank you very much. I've been your commentator, and so is Wearboy, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.